Hello!
Welcome!
I'm David Driscoll,
This is Minjae.
and this is the Body and Brain Podcast.
Oh, what's that? You are wearing something.
Well, I've got a shoelace around my head.
Oh, this is brain shoelace.
Yes, well, actually, we call it a brain belt.
Brain belt.
Yeah.
Ah, brain belt.
You might be wondering why.
Why?
Why do you have... Well, yours is very nice, actually. Yours is nicer than mine.
Bling bling. Yes.
It's a golden... It's got these little wavy, like, gel things on it.
Yes.
Almost looks like a brainwave decoration.
Yes.
I'm envious.
Yes, I got it from Safeway.
Really?
Yes.
They're selling brain belts at Safeway?
Actually, they sell it as a hairband.
A hairband, but you've got it right across your forehead.
I have too short hair for hairband, so I got it. And why don't I wear it on my brain?
It looks cool. Matches your shirt.
Yes.
So you still might be wondering why brain belt?
Yes. Because you have trousers, pants going down without the brain.
No, I'm not wearing brain pants and they're not in danger of falling down without this brain belt. There's a different reason.
Oh, why? Why do you wear brain belt?
The brain belt is to help you focus on your brain.
Focus on your brain. Why do you need to focus on your brain?
That's a good question.
So
Finally,
when you work on something, then
finally
you
a
need
good
to,
question.
you need to work on your project.
Your project.
Why do you need to focus on your brain?
Okay, so that's what I wanted to get into is if you're just going through the day, work, focusing on what people are asking you, your brain is working, it's doing something, right?
Right. Productive.
But are you really using your brain? Or are other people and situations
somebody else or,
using your brain?
or my habit
Or your habit?
habitually.
So, yeah, it's kind of a subtle thing at first, but when you really think about it, there is a difference between using your brain and then just being on autopilot and reacting with your brain.
So using my brain consciously.
Consciously.
Who is the master of my brain?
As the owner,
I
as
see.
the owner of the brain. And then the idea is, and this is where you might have to practice a little bit, the idea is that you can use your brain better when you focus on it than if you just react.
So typically in the morning I begin working, and then especially when I do computer work, and then at first I do like this, but 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, 30 minutes later, and 1 hour
Can you
later,
turn to the side and show
like
the
this.
evolution? Oh my
Like
God.
this.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Whew. Yeah, you almost turned into a
Yeah.
mutant ninja turtle.
Right. So
Not a teenage
I need
one.
I need to focus on my body and have awareness.
Awareness of the brain and what the brain is doing.
Right.
And then we're not just talking about like the physical organ in your head.
Yes.
We're talking a little bit more about the consciousness brain.
Yeah. So when we consider brain as an organ, then it looks like a tofu, and I haven't seen mine myself, and I hope not in my life, but it is like a realm of medical doctor or neuroscientist.
Which is good. It's very important that we know all the anatomy and the medical descriptions of the brain. But in terms of daily life, in fact, in terms of just quality of life, anatomy is not necessarily the most helpful thing.
Yes, and basically it's consciousness.
Consciousness.
Yeah.
So a user's guide.
Right.
How to actually use the brain, that's a little more interesting.
Right.
So that's what we're talking about when you focus on your brain. And then your brain has a lot of power. I always like to talk about conscious
And unconscious.
and unconscious. So which one is more powerful?
Right. People say that consciousness is only the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah,
Or
they say
even smaller.
the unconscious part is the majority
Right.
of our consciousness, our mind power. But how do we tap into that? Not by analyzing or memorizing or thinking, but through our feelings, through our actions and habits, and through our deeper information.
Right. So basically, who is taking care of my heart? What is making my heart beat? And what is making your stomach digest when you are not aware of that?
Not you.
I forgot today, sorry.
Good thing I don't rely on you to keep my heart beating.
Right.
So my brain, unconsciously,
Unconscious.
and we have that power. Now, the idea is by focusing and treating our brain differently, then our brain will work better or worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is why after the workshop, I was shouting in the car
You were talking to your brain?
in the car,
In the car. What did you say to your brain?
and then, my dear brain.
Really? In the car, you took your
In
hands
the
off
car,
the wheel
in the
like
car.
that?
Oh, but my car is parked safely.
Ah, good. So you weren't
My
driving
car.
down the street going,
Yes, yes.
yeah, because people might be a little
Right.
worried.
No, no, no. For example, my car was safely in the Safeway to buy this, and then I stopped it and I shouted, "My dear brain!" 3 times. My dear brain.
So
My dear brain.
you were in a Safeway parking lot with your windows rolled up going,
Right.
ah.
And I have no idea what other people looking at me and then thought, but that's what I did.
Okay.
My dear brain. And then why shouted,
My dear brain.
My dear brain.
That's a very nice and sincere thing to say to your brain.
yeah. And then it makes me feel like I am respecting. I'm respecting my brain. In this way, my consciousness.
Right.
And I'm respecting myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because when I see other people,
Yeah.
then I want to become nice and kind, and I want to respect them. But to me, it is a little bit different.
Right. It's a lot easier to be appreciative towards others, but towards our own brains, isn't it easy to take it all for granted?
Yeah.
And then does our brain work better when we feel
Yeah.
taken for granted or when we feel appreciated?
Yeah.
Much more when we feel appreciated.
Because we are the ones who kept communicating with like 24 hours,
Right.
right? And then we tend to take it for granted and sometimes become so harsh. You did that, I'm not good enough, something
Right.
like that. That's based
Right.
on past information, what kind of like negative information you heard from your early life. So I said, my dear brain.
You soaked up that negative information and eventually you need to clean it out
Yeah.
and expunge it.
I expunged all the negative information.
Oh,
Yes.
good word.
Yes.
You love that word. So, yeah.
My dear brain. And then, people, especially like athletics, professional player,
Yep.
before they go to the playground or a court, and they say that, oh, I can do it. You can make it. I'm a great player.
A funny thing, sometimes they even talk in the third person.
The other person?
Yeah, I think I'm going to pick on Terrell Owens. I think Terrell Owens used to talk about himself. Terrell Owens, he doesn't worry about any of that.
Oh, he's
Terrell Owens, he's gonna play a great game. He's gonna be an all. And people look at it like, are you talking about yourself in the third person? But there's a reason why some people do that.
Oh,
Because the brain listens,
brain listens.
takes it as fact, and then it makes an impression on the way that the brain works after that.
For example, I can say that, oh, Minjae is a great person. Minjae will make it. He's really lovely, which is true.
Which is true.
Yeah, so all to that, right?
Right.
Oh, this is interesting.
Very, very good thing.
Yes.
Yeah. I also practiced saying, my dear brain.
My dear brain.
And I thought, I've been practicing body and brain yoga for years. I'm pretty aware of my body. But what happened when I did this, I asked my brain, I was like, my dear brain, can you help me have a healthy body full of energy?
Yes.
And then I asked my brain, I was kind of sitting there like this. I was like, my brain, what do I need to do? And my brain was like, sit up tall.
Oh, straighten your back first.
I was like, really? And my brain was like, yeah. I can't really feel what's going on in the body unless you sit up straight. So I asked my brain, and it asked me to sit up straight, and then my brain could get a better sense of the body. And then after that, my brain said, why are you so tense?
Why are you so tense?
Yeah. So my brain could suddenly feel, more of what's going on in my body, and I was paying attention to what my brain was aware of. And suddenly I noticed all this tension that was unconsciously being held in my muscles. And my brain said, why don't you let go of that? You don't have to hold on to that. And I did, and it was amazing because I didn't know it was there.
Also, your brain is pointing out lots of different places to relax.
So it was really weird
Wow.
because I thought, I know how I feel. But when I paid attention to my brain knew more than I had been aware of.
Wow, it's so interesting because my brain is you too. So you thought you were aware of that, but you were asking another you, and then the another you is telling you where to focus.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that helped to explain or just make it more confusing, but
Right.
I agree. So yeah, getting a different perspective.
Right.
It's really helpful.
My brain, my dear brain. Yes,
My dear
my
brain.
dear brain. We are not calling like, oh, my brain, you big bastard, right?
Yeah,
So-
I don't recommend that.
Right. So we are respecting. We are showing our respect to the brain.
Yeah.
That means we are showing respect to myself.
It's so interesting.
So interesting.
It's like if I'm if I'm not using all the information that my brain has about my condition, what am I using? Maybe I'm just using my preconceptions
Right.
or my emotions and thoughts to judge my, like, I think, oh, my back's a little tight. How can I make it better? Oh, maybe I'll sit like this. But then when I ask my brain knows a lot more how to let go of that tension than I thought. So respecting the brain, giving love to the brain, not being afraid to talk to your brain.
Yes, I read some of this quote. People saying that majority of the thinking that I am having today is the repetition of that I had yesterday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then so how do we get out of that? Well, we can't really get out of it by just thinking.
Right.
Oh, I'm going to think about something different. We're going to
Right.
cause so much tension. Instead, being present.
Being present, and then one good way is calling my dear brain,
My dear brain.
and then this.
Yeah, and then, strap something around your head and pull it tight and be careful because, there's going to be a line there. If you move it later, people will think that you've had a surgical procedure. Yep, it looks like you had some brain work done.
But this does not mean that my brain is too big.
No,
Yeah, it's optimal size.
your brain?
My brain and my head is like very.
Yeah, I think relatively speaking,
It's very. Oh no.
So this brings us to
well.
one final point. In order to focus on your brain well, body and brain, we talk about bringing energy down
Yes, in the class we always say that you energy down.
to your core. But now we're talking about focusing on your brain up here and then strapping something around your head.
Why are we doing that? It's contradictory.
It is a little bit contradictory, so you have to be careful and make sure that your body is very healthy and strong.
Okay. So we need to have physical strength.
Physical strength is very important for brain health and wellness.
Right. So that is why body and brain is connected.
Yeah. Body and brain.
Body and brain?
Well, your body.
My body.
and
Okay.
my body's not, really going to help your brain.
Oh,
but
yes.
yeah, body and brain both. With enough physical strength, we can stay grounded in the body and be aware of the brain.
Right.
Otherwise, we might get a little heady.
Right. That's why our brain is body and brain.
Very good. So we are doing a special exercise these days.
That is pull-ups. How is it going?
Going great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going very well.
Yeah, I've increased my pull-up ability.
So later we can do another podcast about pull-ups.
Yeah, we'll just hang on the bar and talk for however long we can.
It'll be very short or very long.
I don't know.
We
We'll
don't
have to see.
know. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll set a target.
Yes.
So I hope you keep your body nice and strong and healthy, and then also try saying "my dear brain,"
My dear brain. Yes.
and then pick yourself up one of these fancy. We're giving a free plug to Safeway.
Right.
Safeway brain belts. If they're not marketed that way, you might look for hairbands.
Yes. So try that and then let us know how you feel through the comments.
That's right. And if you like this video, please hit like.
Yeah. And then subscribe to our channel.
That's right.
So can you say my dear brain and then goodbye?
Why not?
1, 2, 3.
My dear brain!
Bye-bye.
See you next time.